Because the British government is now starting an evacuation process. How easy was it for your dad to get out? What happened to him?
So my father he was in Sudan. He was there for holidays. It's Ramadan. It's very kind of similar to Christmas time. Everyone just goes home to spend time with their family. He was meant to fly out on Saturday evening, and this all kicked off on Saturday morning. And the first thing that happened is the RSF forces essentially stormed the airport. And so once that was out of action, I knew that there was going to be issues in terms of getting people out. So he spent a week basically sheltering at home with our home is not far from an army base. So with a lot of bombing and stuff outside, people under beds, people moving to the middle of the house in the middle of the night. And then on Sunday morning, I got contact from the Irish consul. At that stage, we had been contacting the Department of Public Affairs all week. On Sunday morning, I got contact from the Irish consulate in Kenya saying that there was an evacuation, an EU evacuation that was organized, and that he was to make his way to the French embassy. And the French embassy is actually in the area that Dalia was speaking about there, that she lives in with her family, a really prominent, kind of an affluent street in Khartoum, very close to the airport and very close to the general command, but has been very, very heavily bombed. And there's been a lot of fighting in that area. And a lot of the people similar to Dalia and her family have had to leave that area. So that was my biggest concern, was him getting there safely. Luckily, he did. Anyone who participates in these evacuations is told that you go there under, you take your own risk, you take your own life into your hands, you organize your own transport. So my uncle basically got in a car and risked his life and risked my dad's life, and thankfully managed to get him there. And he made it into the French embassy, and he was then subsequently evacuated that evening. I have had then similar thing. I've had really, really close family friends, all Irish citizens, all people who were born, bred, educated in Ireland, 100% Irish as far as I'm concerned, who managed to make it to the French embassy and who were told that we're at capacity. We have 180 people and we're
Oh.
left.
So, so, so that's interesting. So the Irish consulate did work within the EU to get your dad out, but there was a point at which other family members couldn't get out.
So my dad is my only family member who was in Sudan. But like I said, I have really close family friends who
Yeah.
similar boat, and who just unfortunately, because the area was full, even though they were told the time was extended for them to get there, they took a lot of risks to get there. And when they did get there, I just think for 50 people to be left outside of any embassy at any time, let alone the fact that it's probably on at that stage the most dangerous street in Khartoum, it's really, really a failure of the system. We know that the issue is obviously, I'm not saying that anyone wanted this to happen, this was meant to happen, but at the same time, it's a really, really dangerous situation. So my biggest concern at the moment, what I've really been trying to focus on since this weekend, is just the safe passage of people who are citizens, Irish citizens, UK citizens, whoever they are, to try and get them to these areas. Getting to an evacuation is not easy. So this concept that everyone has of it's fine, the Irish are coming, the Swedish are coming, you are literally taking your life into your hands by getting to these areas. There is no transport. The transport that is there is scanty at best. There's very little petrol. Because these evacuations only started at the weekend, this is 7 days into this fight, a lot of people left the capital and went to areas like Medini, went to smaller areas, Port Sudan, other areas, because they had to, because they could not stay in that function anymore. So now the situation is, we have had, what I'll speak for the EU experience is that there has been, and we're grateful for that, because I do think that the delay in the evacuations in terms of the British and the Americans, interestingly, they didn't have any delay in getting their diplomats out.
Yeah.
Delay that has happened in this means that people have had to scatter, because to be honest, why would you wait for someone that you don't think is coming?
In a
So
particular, yeah.
taking issues into their own hands. They've gotten on buses. These family friends that I'm speaking of, when they were left outside the embassy, they went home, and 2 days later they got on a bus and they're going to Egypt with their family.